Here's a fly ball out towards center field. This one's going back, and this one is gone! Taylor gets this one out towards center field to the short park, and it's a grand slam! That's a floater, out to short. And it's booted off the shortstop's glove!
Just like they drew it from Hollywood. Caladros, the 3-2.
Swing and a miss! And the Audubon Green Wave have upset the Kingsway Dragons! Grant Fournier, two-run shot to right.
From the home of the Trenton Thunder, we welcome you back to Trenton Thunder Ballpark for our second of 3 games here in the South Jersey Baseball Series here at Trenton. We were here for Holy Cross and Maple Shade, a little bit closer to home back on April 7th. Back then it was 40 degrees and raining. Today it's 78 and sunny. I'm super excited for this game. I'm Dan Wilkins, joined by Vincent Vogt. As we inch closer to the 500 mark here on DWB, this is broadcast number 498 for us. 499 is tomorrow over at PVI, and 500 will be Friday morning between Burlington Township and Cherokee. But for most of you don't know who I am. I'm Dan Wilkins. I'm a 19-year-old student at Rowan College of South Jersey in Gloucester County. Yeah, Gloucester County. I'm a little bit far away from your home, but we're bringing our broadcast to your home this Wednesday evening for a wonderful matchup in the Greater Middlesex Conference between the J.P. Stevens Hawks and the South River Rams. Of course, South River has one player that everybody wants to watch, Julius Rosado. 27 career home runs at the high school level, and even though this is a pitcher-friendly ballpark, even for minor league standards, he could hit one out of the ballpark tonight here in Mercer County. But J.P. Stevens out of Edison, 3-8 on the young campaign. Both of these teams have pretty similar 2024s. Michael Lepore Jr., the 300-plus win head coach out of South River and Central Jersey Group 1 champions, went 12-12 last year. Meanwhile, third-year head coach Tyler Jackow and the Hawks went 9-17. But the last time that these two played, which was yesterday, was a very close game. 3-2 was the final in favor of South River, and now they're going to try to get it again. These two teams have only played 4 times since 2012, so now the Hawks and the Rams are going to try to find another way to get a good ball game going on here on this beautiful Wednesday night. The starting pitcher for South River tonight is going to be the right-hander, excuse me if I mispronounce the name, Soham Prajapati. And then for South River, the right-hander is going to be Julius Rosado. So he's going to do it all in typical Group 1 baseball. We saw Group 1 baseball a couple hours ago over in Camden County between Haddon Township High School and Gloucester City. So how about some more Group 1? 2 small schools in the Greater Middlesex Conference going at it, the 3-8 Hawks and the 6-3 South River Rams. Starting lineups are being introduced in a couple minutes. Head coaches Jackow and Lepore are meeting at home plate right in front of us here at the Trenton Thunder Ballpark. We'll be right back in just a moment.
First baseman, number 7, Jaden Kassim. Batting 7th, third baseman, number 2, Dev Desai. Batting 8th, starting pitcher, number 16, Soham Prajapati. And batting 9th, center fielder, number 3, Chase Sullivan. Your Hawks are coached by head coach Tyler Jackow. High School Rams. Batting first, second baseman number 3, Jeremiah Sanchez. Batting second, pitcher number 25, Julius Rosado. Batting third, shortstop number 35, James Zori. Batting fourth, catcher number 33, Noah Ferrero. Batting fifth, center fielder number 21, Travis Maloney. Batting sixth, first baseman number 6, Julian Borisovic. Batting seventh, third baseman number 2, Brendan Lell. Batting eighth, right fielder number 14, Sebastian Dearson. And batting ninth, left fielder number 18, Dylan Passion. The Rams are coached by head coach Mike Lepore Jr. Fans, please rise if you're able, remove your caps, and veterans, please salute for the playing of our national anthem.
Well, folks, there's something about the introductions at Trenton Thunder Ballpark that is just so right. The starting lineups, the national anthem, and now the introduction of the players onto the field at the former home of the New York Yankees AA affiliate until 2020. It's the J.P. Stevens Hawks and the South River Rams. We welcome you here on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting on an absolutely beautiful Wednesday night here from Mercer County, as two teams from Middlesex County make the trip down to the central part of the state for their second divisional matchup. Like we said, these two teams have only played 4 times since 2012, with J.P. Stevens winning 3 of the last 4. And for the 6-3 River Rams, who are taking the field now, J.P. Stevens won that first game of the series by a score of 3-2. They started out the season 5-0 with wins and sweeps over South Amboy and Carteret, and then a 13-3 win over non-division opponent Piscataway. Their 2 of their 3 losses this year have been to Metuchen, 8-6 and 3-2, and then most recently J.P. Stevens. For the Hawks, they're 3-8. Their first 2 wins came in their first 3 games: 3-2 over Carteret in a series split, and 6-0 over the Linden Tigers. However, after that, they lost 7 straight, losing to Metuchen, Island Kennedy, Perth Amboy, Barnegat in the Shore Conference, another game to Island Kennedy, and their season swept versus North Plainfield. So Julius Rosado is the right-hander for South River this evening, as the right-hander committed to Rutgers University. He's quite the unusually amazing ball player, 6 foot 205, and we were talking about his prowess at the plate in the open, which let's not get it twisted. He's got that. 27 career home runs for Rosado, but on the hill, he's been just as good. 5 2/3 scoreless this year with a flat ERA, a 1.97 career ERA, and 251 career strikeouts. That's in addition to 544 batting average, 27 homers, 82 walks, and 131 hits. Just recently, in their loss back the other day to Metuchen, he broke the all-time hit record for South River, basically holding every hit record under the sun for South River. So it'll be fun to see these guys duke it out in a Greater Middlesex Conference matchup. As like we said, 5 2/3 scoreless for Julius Rosado this year. Let's introduce the boys in the green and gold. It's the J.P. Stevens Hawks. Let's introduce their starting lineup, brought to you by Harper Driving School. For them this evening, it's going to be Connor Casey leading us off at short. Mukund Rao is the second hitter. Nolan Overmeyer is the catcher batting third. Arai Patel is the DH batting fourth. He is hitting for Lanson Moy, who will be playing second base. Arush Patel is the right fielder batting fifth. Jadin Kasim will be the first baseman batting sixth. Day Desim will be the third baseman. Soham Prajapati will be the pitcher batting eighth. And then Chase Sullivan is the center fielder batting ninth. J.P. Stevens and South River being introduced to Let's Get It Started by the Black Eyed Peas, and I couldn't agree more. Right on time here on a beautiful Wednesday evening in Mercer County. 7 o'clock first pitch. The Rams already setting up in bunt defense. As the Rams and the Hawks ready to go, here from Trenton Thunder. Swing and a miss, and we're underway. To Colin Casey. J.P. Stevens broke their 7-game losing streak with the 3-2 win over the Rams yesterday. Casey, the freshman, taking the shortstop position, a 194 hitter in his rookie campaign. 3 RBIs, 6 for 31. Slider misses away from Rosado. In the 3-2 game over J.P. Stevens and South River, J.P. Stevens was up 3-1. South River got a run back late. And a tapper. Rosado picks that one up. And he'll start the game on his own terms with a 1-3 ground out. Out number one. In that game, the 2 RBIs came from Noah Barrero and Jeremiah Sanchez. Meanwhile, J.P. Stevens got their 2 of 3 RBIs from Mukund Rao, the batter now, and Nolan Overmeyer, with basically the same lineup from today as they did yesterday. The Greater Middlesex Conference, one of a few conferences in the state to do back-to-back games for divisional appearances. That down closer to home where we are, the Cape Atlantic League does the same. For example, like St. Augustine and Mainland will play back-to-back, 1 game at home, 1 game away. The Skyland Conference has been known to do that as well, although they have not done that in recent years. Strike called from Rosado to Mukund Rao. Rao, a .417 hitter this year, 5 for 12, 2 RBIs, 2 walks, a career .265 hitter, 9 for 34. Laces it foul. Oh my goodness. That almost decapitated someone in the Hawks dugout, and it's going to be 0-2. Broadcast number 498 for us tonight. 499 will be tomorrow between Seneca and PVI, and then 500 will be Burlington Township and Cherokee on Friday at 11 a.m. Rosado working fast versus Rao and the 0-2. Swing and a miss. Late on the fastball, and Rosado picks up his first strikeout of the evening for the second out. It's a way to get your confidence up. You know, I think especially after losing to the Hawks yesterday, J.P. Stevens looking for a little bit of a different way to get their offense grooving here, as Dylan Overmeyer will be the batter. Overmeyer, a junior, taking the backstop today. 212 hitter, 7 for 33. That one's fouled straight back. 17 career stolen bases, 6 of which are this year. Strike called, 0-2. Rosado working fast. First three for the Rams in the bottom of the first will be Jeremiah Sanchez, Julius Rosado, and the shortstop, James Sorey. 0-2. Fastball hit out towards right center field. Calling for it is the right fielder. And Dearson will come in to end the inning. So Rosado takes care of the Hawks 1-2-3. And now the Rams in the maroon and white will have their first chance to bat here at Trenton Thunder Ballpark. We'll be right back.
In life, the road ahead is full of possibilities, but to navigate it safely, you need the right skills. Harper Driving School is the premier driving school serving Gloucester, Salem, and Camden counties. With experienced instructors, many of whom are teachers in local schools, we are dedicated to your success and will help you master the road with confidence. With an over 95% success rate of students passing their road test on their first try, you know your student will be in good hands while embarking on a huge step of their young adult lives, all while avoiding the lines at the DMV and getting insurance discounts.
We chose Harper, and so should you.
Welcome back to Trenton Thunder Ballpark. Let's introduce the South River Rams on this Wednesday evening. Jeremiah Sanchez leads us off in the bottom of the first, followed by Rutgers commit Julius Rosado. James Sorey takes shortstop batting third. Noah Barrero is the cleanup man batting fourth. Travis Maloney in center field batting fifth. Julian Borisovich is the first baseman. Brandon Lell is the third baseman batting seventh. Sebastian Dearson, who ended the inning, is the right fielder. And Dylan Passion is the left fielder. For the Rams, coached by 300-plus win head coach Mike Lepore Jr. Central Jersey Group 1 champions in 2016, also champions of their GMC division in 2022. As we said, 6-3 this year. Started out with a 5-0 start with sweeps over Cataray and South Amboy, and then a mercy rule win over Piscataway. Not specifically in that order, but then they lost two, got swept by Metuchen, beat Piscataway Magnet 19-1, and then last night lost to JP Stevens on the road. So this is South River's home game in the series, all things considered. As Sanchez starts off the at-bat, 1-0. Sanchez popped up back behind the plate. This one's headed our way, and that will bounce up and hit one of the luxury suites back behind the plate. It's 1-1. "77 degrees at first pitch tonight. And a swing and a miss, 1-2. Julius Rosado, the .544 career hitter, is on deck. Excited to see him. For those who are unaware, like we said, we're usually South Jersey guys. I went to Audubon High School, which is where Tyler Wiltsey and Julius Rosado, they'll be teammates at Rutgers next year. So that's my little connection with South River. Technically, my connection is with the Trenton Thunder. We did a BCSL game between Maple Shade and Holy Cross, and then we decided we wanted to pick up some more games. JP Stevens and South River, I don't think either team was aware we were coming until last night. But big thanks to Coach, excuse me, I keep forgetting his name, for JP Stevens, Coach Jackow, for helping us out with information, because we don't cover Middlesex County that much. I think we were supposed to come up to Edison one time for a football game, but even then, that was a couple of years ago at this point. Sanchez strikes out swinging. And it's first out, bases empty for Julius Rosado. As we mentioned before, and probably as we'll mention like a broken record tonight, .544 career hitter for the commit to Rutgers. Gets a strike, maybe not the strike you want to throw to Rosado, but it's 0-1. Had 14 home runs last year as a junior, 7 as a sophomore, 4 as a freshman. Actually got close to Luke Dickerson's record that he tied with Mike Trout with Morris Knowles last year. Ended up being a second-round draft pick to the Nationals. 0-2 very quickly, though, as JPS finding a way to lock things down here against the former, or I should say future, Big Ten prospect. No balls, 2 strikes, and the pitch. Outside. Should note the starting pitcher for for JPS today will be Soham Prajaparty, junior right-hander with a 2.5 ERA in 28 innings this year. Already an incredibly heavy workload in the first few weeks of the year. And that ball is launched deep left. Is this number 28? You can bet your sweet deal it is. It's over the fence in left field. Home run, Julius Rosado. He cranks that one out of the yard and into the parking lot in left field. No ballpark can contain the commit to New Brunswick. 1-0 South River. Oh, how do you do? Julius Rosado absolutely launched the ball. That didn't just clear the fence. That cleared all 3 advertising boards in left field. Good luck finding that ball. 1-0 South River. I had a feeling something like that was going to happen just because, I mean, how many of those home runs do you see? I mean, that ball almost, from where I saw the peak of the baseball, it landed, oh, look out, that's going to hit sorely on the first pitch. And after some fireworks at the plate, we get a firework in the other batter's box. And this will bring up Barrero.
Now batting number 33, Noah Barrero.
So a strikeout, a home run, and a hit by pitch put Prajaparty in a little bit of a deal here. This is his 6th appearance of the year. There's a reason why he's got 28 innings. He's only thrown less than 5 in 1 appearance this year. Went full 7 versus Carteret, went 5 versus Linden, 6 1/3 versus Iceland Kennedy, 3 1/3 versus Barnegat, a game that they lost 5-4, and then 6 1/3 with 102 pitches versus North Plainfield. There's a strike. Right down the pipe to Barrero. So in 2 of his 5 starts, he's went over 100 pitches, and then he's went the distance once, has gone 6+ twice. So Tyler Jackow has the trust in his right-hander, and odds are that he'll be going, if not the distance, a long way tonight. Strike called. So home run number 28, RBI number 117 for Julius Rosado. That's his 3rd of the year, and that ball was launched. Noah Barrero, the junior catcher, 5'7", 160, 261 average. Had 1 home run in the 2024 season. 31 career RBIs and a 261 career hitter. As this one's popped up out towards second base, or rather out towards shortstop. Taken in at short by the freshman Casey. Out number 2. Here's Travis Maloney, the sophomore for the Rams. Versus Prajapati for JPS in the bottom of the 1st. 1 run scored on Julius Rosado's blast. Outside. Maloney, 9 for 30, 300 average this year, a 367 slugger. And the pitch. Strike called on the outside corner, 1-1. Swing and a miss late on the fastball. 1-2. Runner goes, ball's outside, throw down to second is a mile in time, inning over. Prajapati gets out of it, but not before Julius Rosado hits one across state lines out to left field. Absolutely launched. We go to the top half of the second here in Trenton, 1-0. And that ball is launched deep left. Is this number 28? You can bet your sweet deal it is. It's over the fence in left field. Home run, Julius Rosado. And here in Trenton, both schools had to travel a good 45-ish minutes to get here. We ourselves had to travel 40, maybe 35 minutes to get here from Camden County. I don't know how the drive is from Middlesex County, but we welcome you all joining us today or this evening. J.P. Stevens and South River making their first appearances on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting, making them the 107th and 108th high schools in New Jersey to get coverage. Strike called on the outside corner to start the second. South River got a run home on a moonshot to left over the advertising boards off the bat of Julius Rosado, his 28th career home run, his third this season as a senior for the Rutgers commit. Sure, as the weather warms up, he'll be hitting plenty of those just like he did 14 as a junior. 0-2 quickly, though, for Rosado. Again, this is the prototypical Group 1 team. We see it in the South, we see it in Central, we see it in North Jersey. Pitchers who can hit and hitters who can pitch. There's a strike 3 called in the outside corner.
Now batting
One away for Patel.
Rush Patel.
Just joining us 1-0 in the top half of the second. This broadcast is brought to you by Harper Driving School. Over 90% of students who take their New Jersey State driving test with Harper pass on the first attempt. If you like those odds, you can book an appointment today at Suite 4 of the Total Turf Complex in Pittman at 614 Lambs Road. One ball, one strike. Fastball high at the letters. Rosado with 2 strikeouts so far. Patel and then Jadin Kasim for the Hawks here in the top half of the second. Curveball loops outside, 3-1. For a pitcher as good as Rosado, who hasn't allowed an earned run this year, would be pretty interesting to see, how this all fares out, especially in terms of plate discipline. That's a dribbler up to the first base side. Taking it himself for a 3 unassisted play is Julian Borisovich. And that's the second out of the second as Arish Patel is retired.
Now batting number 7, Jaden Kasim.
Oh and 1. 1-1 now. Laced out towards right. This will go towards the play area in right field. The currently unoccupied play area. And it's 1-2. Oh, that one hit him in the helmet. He shakes it off and he goes to first. So Jaden Kasim, unfazed by Rosado's breaking ball, gets the first base runner on for JPS.
Number 2, Dev Desai.
So a strikeout, a 3 unassisted, and now a hit by pitch. And still 1-0 game here in Trenton. Rosado from the middle of the rubber. From the stretch, misses outside. Faked a back pick over at first. When these two played last year, final score was 10-0 South River in May of 2024. Their last meeting before that was a 7-3 JPS win in May of 2016. Another fake back pick. And then they played again in May 2012, a 6-5 JPS win. But honestly, anything more than 4 years ago, I usually take it with a grain of salt, because an entirely new group of players will have graduated and rejoined the team. It might be that those kind of historical stats might be more valuable for things like college baseball, college basketball, college football. I don't really buy it for high school, because programs can change entirely. Coaches will change, athletic directors will change, and overall philosophies will change. That throw down to second is in time. South River got bitten with a caught stealing in the bottom half, and now JPS gets a taste of their own medicine. They leave one runner on and get one tagged out at second base. 1-0 here in Trenton going to the bottom half of the second. Things like college baseball, college basketball, college football. I don't really buy it for high school, because programs can change entirely. Coaches will change, athletic directors will change, and overall philosophies will change. That throw down to second is in time. South River got bit.
Garden State Pet Center is an independently owned full-service pet store. Our specialty is promoting companionship between people and animals by providing the healthiest product choices available, including all-natural foods, supplements that support and relieve health issues, and innovative products for pet parents. Our goal is to provide our customers with a relaxing environment, and while we're not striving to be the biggest store on the East Coast, we're striving to be the best. No other pet store will make you feel at home like we do. At Garden State Pet Center, we view pets as members of the family. We don't believe in fast, high-pressure sales, but instead matching up the right pet with the right owners, as you are making a lifelong commitment. Together with our team members, we would like your visit to our store to be both enjoyable and educational. Simply drop in and take a look around. View the birds, reptiles, small animals, toys, food, cages, and miscellaneous items. Learn of the services we have to offer and decide for yourself if this is the store you'd like to call your home away from home.
Victor Santucci, owner of Garden State Pet Center. Visit us today at 226 South Whitehorse Pike in Audubon, New Jersey. We're open 7 days a week for all of your pets' needs.
And the first pitch. Strike called. Two runs on 3 hits for South River, as there's a strike called. It was 7, 8, 9 for South River, leading off the top half of the third. Dev Desai was retired on a flyout to right before our mics came back for a second there. As Prajapati is the pitcher facing his other pitcher, Julius Rosado. Here's the 1-2. Up and in. Rosado with 2 strikeouts and 2 1/3 so far. And make that number 4. Excuse me, 3. Number 3. I tell you, I can count. Strike 3 swinging by the pitcher Prajapati. That brings up Chase Sullivan now. Number 9 hitter for JPS.
Now batting number 3, Chase Sullivan.
So a fly out to right and a strikeout are your 2 batters here in the third. Sullivan, a freshman. So freshmen are bookending the starting order for JP Stevens. He's a 138 hitter, 4 for 29, 8 stolen bases. In fact, had 3 swiped bags in the loss to Iceland Kennedy, 6-1. An 8-inning loss where Iceland scored 5 in the top half of the 8th inning. Popped up, playable at third base. It's taken in to retire the side as a harmless third is brought to an end by Brendan Lell. We're through 2.5 here in Mercer County. South River up 2-0. The sun may be setting on the day, but the night is just beginning here at Trenton Thunder Ballpark. I'm Dan Wilkins, joined by Vincent Vogt up here in the Trenton Thunder booth with a whole bunch of Yankee photos behind us of players who have passed through this ballpark, whether on a rehab assignment or as true members of the Trenton Thunder over the years. Swing and a miss by Sanchez to start the bottom of the third. The Thunder are currently an affiliate of the MLB Draft League, which is a collegiate summer league that was created post-COVID. That ball's hitting the left. It'll drop for a base hit. One hop out to the left fielder, and Rosado, who went yard in the first, will have something to work with here in the bottom half of the third. That's the 4th hit for South River this evening. Created in 1994, up until 2020, the Thunder were a part of the Eastern League. For one season, they were an affiliate of the Detroit Tigers. They were the Red Sox AA affiliate from 1995 to 2002. And then from 2003 to 2020, the Yankees were their affiliate. So up here in the press box, you can still see signage of players who have recently passed through, like Gary Sanchez, Brett Gardner, Aaron Judge. I believe there's still a Greg Bird sign up there somewhere. But they'll be getting this ballpark ready for the Summer League starting, I believe, in late June. But they've been a part of this draft league since 2021. As the 1-0 count to Rosado, outside. If you're Prajapati, you gave up the home run to Rosado in the first. You know how far that ball went. Got to wonder if he's throwing a little bit outside here to try to squash the threat just by surrender, if you will. On deck is Zorley, and it would be nice for South River to have 2 runners on with nobody out. But for a guy that's hit 28 home runs, I don't even know what the all-time record is, but he's got to be up near there. I mean, Luke Dickerson hit 18 in one season last year for Morris Knowles, tied the all-time single-season record. And you know who he tied that record with? Mike Trout from 2009 at Millville down here in Cumberland County. Strike called 2-2. That's got to be a tough sell for the Trenton folks to be a Red Sox affiliate for so long and then switch to your arch nemesis in the AL East, the Yankees. But that's what happens. Minor league affiliates come and go. The Yankees AAA affiliate, the Scranton Wilkes-Barre Rail Riders, they've only been their AAA since 2009. From 2008 before, they were actually the Phillies AAA affiliate in Scranton. But then they built the new ballpark in Lehigh Valley, and then the Iron Pigs were born. Rosado takes outside. Man, JPS not happy there. You could hear that very, very clearly with Jackow. He said, call it both sides. Said same spot as last inning as he's standing and pacing beside the dugout. That's ball 4. Throw down to second. Jackow, we'll zoom out a little bit here. You can see he is not happy. Didn't exactly hear what the home plate umpire said because he wasn't facing our way, but I would imagine maybe some kind of warning. But Jacko not happy. A single to Sanchez and then a walk to Rosado. Worked the count full, unable to get it done. And now it's Zorley batting with 2 on and nobody out. That one is down. And I think what made him more upset was that on the 3-2 he threw the ball. Time is called by Jacko. We're going to have a pitching mound visit here. But yeah, just talking about some history with the Trenton Thunder. This, of all MLB Draft League ballparks, is the largest in capacity. At 6,440 with everything open. The Mahoning Valley Scrappers at Eastwood Field hold 6,000. Also the home of Youngstown State Baseball. So Mahoning Valley and Trenton, the only 2 teams in the Draft League with a stadium capacity of over 6,000. The State College Spikes hold 5,570. And it's a 6-team league total. Trenton, Mahoning Valley, State College, Frederick, a former Orioles affiliate, the West Virginia Black Bears, and the Williamsport Crosscutters, which were a Phillies affiliate for a long time. And the Crosscutters have the smallest ballpark of the group at 2336, a place where I've also been back in 2019. Swing and a miss, hefty hack there. But I mean, all 6 of the teams in the MLB Draft League pretty concentrated. 2 teams in Pennsylvania, and then the ones that aren't are very close. The Scrappers are on the very eastern tip of Ohio. Outside 2-1. The Black Bears are at the very northern tip of Virginia. The Keys are in the heart of Maryland, which is not far. And then the Trenton Thunder, well, you go right across the Delaware River and you're in Yardley, PA. So, I mean, that's how most collegiate summer leagues work. Everybody's pretty centralized, if you will. The Cape Cod Summer League all runs in one part of Massachusetts across all the small towns there. 3-1. But dealing with Zorley here, got a 3-1 count for Prajapati and a 2-0 South River lead. A 1-0 after the first, and then they added on a RBI single in the second. Tapper foul towards the JPS dugout. Still 3-2 now. The Thunder won 5 minor league titles. Most recently in 2021 as a part of the Draft League. Also won 4 Eastern League titles in 07, 08, 2013, and 2018. That is ball 4. Misses down and away, and the bases are loaded. So South River allowing or being the recipient of back-to-back walks. We've got a single and 2 walks to the meat of the order for the Rams. Now bringing up Barrero, the catcher, with nobody out and the bases loaded. Yeah, that JPS dugout is basically empty. All of the players that are in there are standing on the top rail. And then the South River dugout, maybe with their lead a little bit more relaxed. But as we said, a beautiful night to be here. There's a strike called. As we said, I mean, you know, this ballpark has a lot of rich history. As we said 7 years ago, I said it on the last broadcast, I was a fan here at the Eastern League All-Star game. Game where Tim Tebow had an RBI double for the Mets affiliate. 0-1, runner breaks from third, now holding up in a bit of a deflection tactic. So Noah Barrero batting with bases loaded. A couple of RBIs here could put the game a lot more favorably in South River's hands. Outside, 1-1. 2-1. That misses low. The last thing you want is a bases loaded walk. That's almost the first sign of seeing a game start to unwind. But Prajapati still looking to lock it down. He's got nobody out, the bases loaded, and a big opportunity to either shut things down or accelerate the narrative. There's a strike called on the outside corner to Barrero. Maloney, who doubled to start the second, is next. Three balls, two strikes. As Prajapati is set, nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. The infield at the corners playing in, shortstop and second base playing at normal distance. After a regroup to Barrero, who popped out to short in the first. 3-2. Swing and a miss. He got him. A huge strikeout, pumps the fastball low in the zone, and Barrero is retired for the first out of the third. And I like that there. He stepped off, did everything that he needed to do, and then what did he do? Came back and threw a strike to get him. I like that. I like that a lot. I think that it's a sign of resilience and confidence being regained within Prajapati, especially with the bases loaded and nobody out. If he walks in a run, his confidence could really take a big hit. So now he's a little bit closer to being in the driver's seat. Ooh, bit of a favorable call there on the outside corner. It's 0-1. With the batter Maloney, he doubled in the second, came around to score on the RBI single by Dearson. Just a few batters later, there's a ground ball, skips off the third baseman's glove into left field for a base hit. One run's gonna come in to score. He'll hold there, and everybody moves up 90 feet. That will be an RBI single for Maloney, and it's now 3-0 South River. They have scored exactly one run in every inning tonight.
Now batting number 6, Julian Borisovic.
So Maloney with an RBI single. Here's Borisovic, who popped out to short in his first at-bat. As South River already well into their second rotation of the order here in the bottom of the third, taking advantage of 3 runs on 5 hits with the bases loaded. Strike called right down Broadway, belt high. 0-1. No balls, 1 strike. Ground ball, that skips into left field for a base hit. Green light from third base. Now the stop sign gets flashed at the last moment. The carousel continues with an RBI single off the bat of Borisovic, and it's 4-0 Rams. So Borisovic, with back-to-back base hits and back-to-back RBI singles from Maloney and Borisovic, now it's Lell. Bases loaded and 1 out as Prajapati runs into some trouble here. That one is away. 1-0. Normally, we only cover South Jersey scores in the out-of-town scoreboard, but because we're covering Central Jersey and a little bit of North today, we'll be covering all of the scores that we see. Westwood beat Riverdale 11-6. West Milford took down Lakeland 9-3. Mount Olive beat Parsippany Hills 10-0. Let's see what else we've got on the schedule. Most of the final scores coming in today, considering this is a 7 o'clock game. Waldwick beat Lodi 3-2. Don't have too much on the ledger right now, as the count is 2-1. Some scores just still coming in here all throughout. Popped up first base side. Hustling towards it is the right fielder, but it bounces into the grandstands. It's 2-2. This is a bit of a reset at-bat here for Prajapati. A good long at-bat, not interrupted by anything. A couple of foul balls, but just trying to find a way to settle back in. It's a 4-0 game. J.P. Stevens, at the moment, is still without a base hit, as there's a swing and a miss. Prajapati picks up the strikeout, his 4th of the evening. And that brings up Dearson with 2 outs. He had the RBI single in the second. as he grabs the bat with 2 down and bases loaded. What do we like to say? Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. J.P. Stevens trying to shut down the inning without any further damage on the board. Slider trapped in the dirt by the backstop, and it's 1-0. For J.P. Stevens, they have faced the minimum, but they have gotten a runner on, Kasim. They bat 1, 2, and 3 in the fourth. Casey, Rao, and Overmeyer. 1-0. Got jammed, and it's foul. 1-1. Good crowd on hand. I would say about 75% South River at the moment. I mean, I'm not joking. I'm just saying that, sometimes it's a little bit more noticeable, the cheers and whatnot. You look to your left across the JPS dugout, and then you look to your right across the South River dugout. I mean, I was talking to some South River fans before the game, handing out some business cards, making sure that they knew where to find the game. And, I kind of said, this is a good crowd for a game here, especially with how far South River is. It's about 45 minutes away. But, I mean, think about it. In Central and North Jersey, most of your opponents are going to be within, 20, 25 minutes of each other across the county. That one is outside 3-1. The next man on deck would be Passion, who struck out in his first at-bat, but a good opportunity for South River to blow the game open with the bases loaded in the third. However, J.P. Stevens looking to shut them down. Three balls, 1 strike, and 2 outs. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Wavered late on a fastball, and it's 3-2. Same situation as just a few batters ago. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, bases loaded, and that one is strike 3 on the outside corner. Hey, he's been calling that all night, and the inning is over. South River gets their damage halted at 2 runs, and they leave them loaded. J.P. Stevens now looking for a rebound in the top half of the fourth. 4-0. It's trivia time. We're bringing it back. The 2024 staple, as asked by so many fans, is coming back for the 2025 season. What we usually do here, for the fans that aren't aware, we ask a question in the top half of the fourth. All you have to do is answer it. Whether you can answer in the comments or send us a message on social media, let us know what you think the answer to this question. Hank Aaron, in 1954, on this day, hit his first career home run with the Braves. He spent all but 2 years of his career with the Braves, as this one is skied in the center field and caught for the first out. With that being said, his road to 755 started on this day in 1954. Until 1966, the Atlanta Braves were in which city? Was it A, St. Louis, B, Milwaukee, C, Boston, or D, Birmingham, as in Alabama? The answer will be revealed in the bottom half of the fourth inning. One away in the top of the fourth here for J.P. Stevens, as they have been held to the minimum by the right-hander Rosado. A good night for Rosado to be pitching as he is scoreless on the season. Came into this game with 5 2/3 scoreless innings. And as we mentioned in the open, a 1.97 career ERA. With 231 career strikeouts. There is a strike called. I mean, those are like softball numbers. You know, we had, I think it was Devin Brandley for Timber Creek last year that pitched her 500th career strikeout. But that's also softball, where pitching is a little bit less of a strenuous motion. I mean, that underhand toss is a natural motion. There's no such thing, or at least not that I know of Tommy John surgery for softball. So those pitchers, if they really only carry 1 or 2, quote, pitchers on a roster. The rosters are typically very small, regardless of school size. There's a strike called. JPS disagreed on the outside corner. Casey flew out to center. Now it's Rao, who struck out swinging his first time. Rosado with 3 strikeouts in 3 1/3 so far tonight. And the pitch. That's a dribbler over the middle, picked up at second base. Throw across the diamond is high. He'll get pulled off the bag. A late throw on a routine play gives JPS a little base runner there. The scoreboard is calling that a hit. I had that in my book as an E4, but we'll have to confirm that it's at one point or another, as Overmeyer is the hitter. But it's 4-0 South River. The only way that I could really see that being a hit is if I thought that maybe the second baseman took too long to get to the ball and therefore the runner would have been safe anyway. I'm not sure. That's a tough call. That's a tough play. Swing and a miss. Of course, there was some controversy with scorekeeping a couple days ago with Max Fried and the Yankees, which was such a petty thing. Not on the scorekeeper's behalf, but just on the Yankees fans' behalf. Just because, first of all, the no-hitter was broken up in the 8th inning anyway. So regardless of whether that controversial play in the 6th was that or not, he got him again. You're kidding me. They could do it all down here in South River. Second time he's been thrown out at second. And J.P. Stevens has not done themselves any favors on the base paths, as Rao is called out at second. And just like that, Rosado now has an 0-2 count with the bases wiped clean. Versus Overmeyer. No balls, 2 strikes. J.P. Stevens on the scoreboard picking up their first hit of the day. Here's the 0-2. Swing and a miss. He got him. Fastball right down the pipe for strikeout number 4, and the side is retired. We go to the bottom of the 4th. JPS still held scoreless as the runner is gunned down at second base. It's 4-0 Rams. Scorekeeper's behalf, but just on the Yankees fans' behalf, just because, first of all, the no-hitter was broken up in the 8th inning anyway, so regardless of whether that controversial play in the 6th was that or not, he got him again. You're kidding me. They could do it all down here in South River. Second Passion leads off the bottom half of the fourth. It's time for DWB Trivia time. As we said in the top half, today's question is, Hank Aaron, on this day in 1954, hit his first career home run as a path to 755, which he would do through playing through 1972. In which city did the Braves play in from 1954, or at least until, from Hank Aaron's starting point until 1966? Options are St. Louis, Milwaukee, Boston, and Birmingham. Vincent Vogt, our producer for the day, again bringing back this wonderful tradition on DWB. You got a guess? Milwaukee is correct. The Boston Braves were also where the Braves have played before. Babe Ruth kind of infamously had his final season with Boston in 1935. But then they moved to Milwaukee sometime in the 40s or 50s, and they moved to Atlanta, their current home, in 1966. There's a swing and a miss. Passion retired on strikes for the 6th K by Prajapati today, and that's the first out. Here is Sanchez.
Now batting number 3, Jeremiah Sanchez.
So Sanchez 1 for 2, a strikeout and a single to his credit today. Now, Hank Aaron has had 2 stints in Milwaukee, believe it or not. He played for the Atlanta Braves up until 1971. Then the final 2 years of his career, he spent 21 years in the Braves organization, which is where he hit the bulk of his home runs. The final 2 years were with the Milwaukee Brewers. So he technically spent 2 stints in Milwaukee, just one with the Braves, then they moved to Atlanta, and then another with the Milwaukee Brewers. One of the more famous examples of players playing for a unlikely team, like Willie Mays with the Mets, Pedro Martinez with the Phillies, David Ortiz with the Minnesota Twins. Even though he spent 6 years there, a lot of people forget about any other time than him in Boston. There's a swing and a miss. 4 straight strikeouts for Prajapati, and that is the second out of the 4th.
Now batting number 25, Julius Rosado.
So here's Julius Rosado. He was walked in the 3rd, a little bit controversially, although things seem to have simmered down now. Rosado homered in the bottom half of the 1st to give South River the lead that they have not relinquished since. And don't forget, we'll be back at Trenton Thunder Ballpark on Sunday, April 27th for a matchup between the Sayreville Bombers and the Matawan Huskies. That one is outside. Like I said, I think that Prajapati is definitely playing the long game here with Rosado. He knows what he did in the 1st. But at this situation, I think you got to have a short memory. I think you got to have a short-term memory in this situation. Just making sure that you're not, holding too much of a lingering thought from the 1st inning blast. But the count is 1-1 to Rosado. As the 1-1. Fouled straight back, right over our heads, and right into the parking lot back behind the dish. 8:05 Eastern time tonight, an hour and 5 minutes into this one and just about halfway home with a 4-0 South River lead. Outside, that one landed in the other batter's box, and it's 2-2. Slider. They say no. They say he didn't go. And again, Jack Howe growing more and more frustrated with the calls behind the plate. He was saying, why was that not a strike to begin with? I mean, that's kind of a twofer there. They say that he should have swinged, and he says that should have been a strike. That time, though, no further consequences. Side retired. That is 5 straight strikeouts as J.P. Stevens shuts down South River for the first time tonight. They hold them scoreless in the 4th. We are through 4 here in Trenton. It is South River 4, JPS 0.
In life, the road ahead is full of possibilities, but to navigate it safely, you need the right skills. Harper Driving School is the premier driving school serving Gloucester, Salem, and Camden counties. With experienced instructors, many of whom are teachers in local schools, we are dedicated to your success and will help you master the road with confidence. With an over 95% success rate of students passing their road test on their first try, you know your student will be in good hands while embarking on a huge step of their young adult lives, all while avoiding the lines at the DMV and getting insurance discounts.
We chose Harper, and so should you.
Here in the top of the fifth, Trenton Thunder Ballpark. A beautiful Wednesday evening for some Greater Middlesex Conference baseball. The two Patels batting here in the fifth. It'll be followed by Kadim. That one hits the netting back behind home plate. I do like what they have here so that the ball doesn't fly onto the concourse. Behind each section is a net behind the last row, separating the concourse from the seating area. Dribbler foul. J.P. Stevens held to one hit. They got there first with Rao in the top half of the fourth. Again, one of those plays that could go either way as either an error or a hit. But the 0-2 is a swing and a miss. 5 strikeouts for Rosado, and the first of the Patels has retired for the first out. So this is now Arush Patel.
Number 4, Arush Patel.
The sophomore in right field this evening dribbles it up to third. He was playing there perfectly, bunt defense or not, and there's 2 away. Patel, a .222 hitter this year, but now he turns it over to Jaden Kasim.
Now batting number 7, Jaden.
That's one of those precarious plays that's so interesting here is, you know, that third baseman was lined up as if he was expecting a bunt from Arush Patel, but instead he just hit it right to him, fair and square. Strike called. The entire Hawks dugout objected to that call. 1-1. I feel like it's one of those nights. There's one pitch where one dugout hates the call, then there's the next pitch that the other dugout hates the call. Here's the 1-1. Dribbler, Rosado can't get it on the outstretched glove. Oh, he bobbles it, and that will get the runner on. Now the ball gets away. It'll bounce off of the dugout. He turned towards second, but he will get back to first safely. And that will be an error scored against the second baseman.
Now batting number 2, Deb Desai.
So here's Desai. So J.P. Stevens with one hit. Now they take advantage of an error to put a runner on with 2 down. That one skips away. And with the deep backstop here at the Trenton Ballpark, he'll advance safely. I mean, Rosado really just missed the mark there, and now the pitching coach will come out after that, maybe making sure that he's okay and making sure that everybody's on the same page here. Again, the 300-plus win head coach Mike Lepore Jr. They've only played one game outside of the division this year in the GMC Blue. Rosado, who homered in the first inning of this ballgame to open up the scoring on a loud note, has 5 2/3 this year. He has mostly had relief work. This is his first, either his first start or at least his longest appearance of the year. 3 innings versus South Amboy, 2/3 versus South Amboy in game 2 of that series, 1 versus Carteret and 1 versus Metuchen. So this is his first appearance of over 3 innings this year. And he hasn't thrown more than 36 pitches in any appearance. But he had 49 1/3 last year, 45 1/3 in 2023, and then another, 52 1/3 as a freshman. So 152 innings going into today's matchup, 251 strikeouts. He's added 5 more to that category, 95 strikeouts as a freshman. It's unreal. It's absolutely unreal. And the fact that he's not even going to be thought about as a pitcher at Rutgers. He's going to be a middle infielder. That's just, it's wild to me. And the fact that he's got 28 home runs and a .544 average. There's nobody in South Jersey like that right now. Popped up foul over our heads and on top of the roof, 1 and 2. So Desai working with a runner in scoring position as South River looks to hold the line and hold the shutout in place in the top of the 5th inning here in Trenton. Rosado looks back at second. The runner with an uncontested lead. And the 1-2. No, he steps off. Throw back to second was no good. And here we go. 1 ball, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. J.P. Stevens down by 4. Looking for a rebound here. Here's the pitch. That's a strike 3 on the outside corner. Rosado with a half dozen strikeouts, and the side is retired. We go to the bottom of the 5th inning as South River holds the line, and it remains a 4-0 game here at Trenton Thunder Ballpark.
Garden State Pet Center is an independently owned full-service pet store. Our specialty is promoting companionship between people and animals by providing the healthiest product choices available, including all-natural foods, supplements that support and relieve health issues, and innovative products for pet parents. Our goal is to provide our customers with a relaxing environment, and while we're not striving to be the biggest store on the East Coast, we're striving to be the best. No other pet store will make you feel at home like we do. At Garden State Pet Center, we view pets as members of the family. We don't believe in fast, high-pressure sales, but instead matching up the right pet with the right owners, as you are making a lifelong commitment. Together with our team members, we would like your visit to our store to be both enjoyable and educational. Simply drop in and take a look around. View the birds, reptiles, small animals, toys, food, cages, and miscellaneous items. Learn of the services we have to offer and decide for yourself if this is the store you'd like to call your home away from home.
Victor Santucci, owner of Garden State Pet Center. Visit us today at 226 South Whitehorse Pike in Audubon, New Jersey. We're open 7 days a week for all of your pets' needs.
Here on this Wednesday evening from Trenton Thunder Ballpark, I'm Dan Wilkins, joined by Vincent Vogt up here in the broadcast booth in Trenton. Again, big thank you to John Bodner and Marissa Murphy, for having us out here this evening and for our second of 3 games here in Trenton. Swing and a miss. Well, J.P. Stevens, even though their offense has been a little bit ho-hum to start, their starting pitcher, Prajapati, has been unhittable in the last couple of frames. He has struck out the last 5 batters in a row. And even after giving up 2 runs on 8 batters in the 3rd, this looked like a game that South River was going to take control of, but with the bases loaded, he struck out Lell and Dearson back-to-back, and then struck out the side in the fourth. Here's the 1-1. Strike called, 1-2. It is 3, 4, and 5 for South River, Zorley, Barrero, and Maloney. South River has 4 runs, 6 hits, and 1 error. J.P. Stevens with 1 hit, no runs, and as we know of, no errors in the field. Fouled back. Got a good piece of that one as Zorley went for a big swing. He was hit by a pitch in the first. One ball, 2 strikes. Did he go? They say yes, and they will not contest. Thought maybe they were going to let him go down to first, but instead.
Now batting number 33, Noah Barrero.
So Zorley strikes out. That's 6 straight for Prajapati. Here's Barrero. Strike called. He has been dotting the strike zone with that slider. Really like it here. Barrero, though, the 5'7", 160 catcher, 261 hitter in his career, had 1 home run last year, missed at the letters, 1-1. 345 slugger, 5 walks this year, 5 RBI, but just 4 for 25. Also has 5 innings on the hill this year for the Rams. 1-1. Outside, that one's going to skip up. But no runner has reached since the bottom of the fourth, and that looked like an inning that could have been do or die for J.P. Stevens. Looked like it may have been one where South River was going to take the money and run. After all, when they played together in 2024, South River won that matchup 10-0. Swing and a miss, 2-2. But yesterday was a bit different. It was a 3-2 final in favor of J.P. Stevens. Today looking a little bit different, but still 6 more outs for the Hawks to turn things around. Prajapati set, kicks, and delivers. 7 Ks in a row for Prajapati, the right-hander. As not only does he have 7 strikeouts tonight, you can make that a grand total of 10 overall. 9 of his 10 Ks have been of the swinging variety, so it's not like he's been taking advantage of a weakened lineup. He's facing them all, and he's knocking them all down. As the J.P. Stevens dugout finally starting to get some life into it with Prajapati's masterclass here. And this would be a shame if he's going to be in line for the loss. If J.P. Stevens doesn't get the offense going, he's going to be in line for the loss, and that'll be a shame because he has an excellent command. Strike 2. I don't know if it's something with the mound. I don't know if it's something with the air tonight, but he has been incredible. 7 straight strikeouts, including the best of the best in South River's order. He's got an 0-2 count as J.P. Stevens looks to turn it around on this Wednesday evening in Trenton. 0-2. That will end the streak. Ground ball to third, though, and a throw to first is scooped cleanly. Have a day. Prajapati backed up by his infield. He gets out of it, and the strikeout streak of 7 comes to an end. But he's got 10 total and has nothing to be ashamed of. We go to the 6th here in Trenton Thunder Ballpark. It is 4-0 South River. Bottom of the fifth inning here top of the sixth here in Trenton, Mercer County. This broadcast is brought to you by the Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling Gladiators, or Dog Pro Wrestling, New Jersey's premier pro wrestling organization with high-flying events and nonstop entertainment throughout the Garden State. You can visit online for more information at dawgprowrestling.com. The pro wrestlers were recently at Rowan University in Glassboro for Rosselmania, as in Rowan After Hours, a wonderful event that ran well with the Rowan student body, and they hope to be back again at Rowan very soon. Swing and a miss, 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes. If you're just joining us, South River leads 4-0 over J.P. Stevens. Julius Rosado has done very well for himself. 5 shutout innings with only 1 hit allowed, and even that with 50-50 on whether it could have been a hit or an error in the scorecard. There's a swing and a miss. It's Prajapati, who going into the last inning struck out 7 in a row. Well, he just picked up a strikeout of his own, his second of the day. First out.
Chase Sullivan.
7 Ks for Rosado. And now it's Sullivan, Chase Sullivan, the freshman, batting for J.P. Stevens. Rosado kicks and delivers. That one is up and away. Like we said, for those of you just joining us, we are mostly a South Jersey company. We're based out of Camden County, spending a lot of time in Gloucester County, Burlington County. So this is a little bit out of our usual range, but we are excited to be covering J.P. Stevens in South River. You guys are only about an hour 15 from where we usually reside, as there's a strike called 1-2. So we're happy to be here, is what we're trying to say. Very happy to be here. 1 ball, 2 strikes, and that is strike 3 on the check swing. Sullivan is retired. There's 2 down. Make that 18 combined strikeouts between these two pitching staffs. As now it's Colin Casey. It's just what you love to see. You love to see both pitchers in a groove, working hard, working fast, and just finding a way to be very comfortable in a place where they usually aren't. You know, these two teams are pretty far away from home, and it's the first time that these two teams in general have played at Trenton Thunder Stadium. You know, we were talking with Coach Jackow of J.P. Stevens, and one of the things that he said was that, you know, it is such an honor to be here. You know, in his 3rd season coaching varsity baseball at J.P. Stevens, a season where they failed to reach the 10-win mark last year, 9-17. It's just a little bit to get the kids exposure. We were going to talk with John Bodner about the program, but he had to unfortunately cancel on us for a guest appearance, the general manager of the Thunder. But the 2-1 on its way. Got a piece of it, and it's foul. 2-2. Rosado has struck out 3 in a row as Casey stands in the way of striking out the side. Rao is next. Meanwhile, for Prajapati, who has somebody warming up in the bullpen to possibly succeed him, we'll see what J.P. Stevens has in the tank. Count is 2-2. Rosado, a very slow leg kick, is inside. 3-2. Good call there. And it's 3-2. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, base is empty for JPS. And the full count from the edge of the rubber. He got him. Looking on the bottom half of the plate. The side is retired. You can make that 19 combined strikeouts between these two starters, Prajapati and Rosado. A masterful performance by both pitchers tonight. Go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Working quickly here in Trenton. 4-0. Prajapati, the pitcher in the bottom half of the 6th inning, looks like he could go to distance. And honestly, are we that surprised? It's a foul ball down the right field line. All the kids running to get the foul ball. But, I mean, listen, Prajapati, 10 strikeouts. In all but one appearance has he gone less than 5 innings. Or I should say, in all but one of his appearances, he's gone more than 5 innings. So it hasn't been that surprising that in a game where even though JPS is trailing, they are trusting their starter. They did have a right-hander warming up down the left field bullpen. However, he has not come into the game. For South River, in the bottom half of the 6th, you've got Borisovich, Lell, and Dearson. Borisovich, 1 for 2. Pop out to short and a single to his record tonight. For the Rams, who with a win would improve to 7-3 and a split with the series over JP Stevens. And I think for a team as talented as South River, I think that, you know, that loss yesterday, especially with JP Stevens, you know, that was a good resilient win for the Hawks. But now the Rams want their win back, and they want it on the big stage. Because a win yesterday is fine, but a win today in front of as many people as you're playing against and as many people as you're showcasing in front of, it's always excellent to see. JP Stevens with a loss would fall to 3-9 on the young season, as South River, who has played all but one game in their division in the GMC Blue, there's a swing and a miss, make that 11 Ks for Prajapati. It's first out of the 6th.
Now batting number 2, Brendan Lell.
Here's Lell. Here's the first pitch. Breaking ball, catches the zone, 0-1. Here's the 0-1 from Prajapati. Dribbler right back to him. Great play there. Second out. So a 1-3 retires Lell.
Now batting number 14.
Now here is
Sebastian
Dearson.
Dearson.
So the GMC, for our South Jersey friends, comprises of 4 divisions: blue, gold, red, and white. The blue division, currently led by North Plainfield at 8-2, sees South River in 3rd. Metuchen, with an overall record tied with North Plainfield, but 1 game divisionally behind. South River is 3rd. JP Stevens is in, let's see here, they are in 7th out of 8. So it looks like there's 8 teams in every division, from what I can see, although the white has 7 and the gold has 9. So it's a bit of an NL Central debacle there. But it goes North Plainfield, Metuchen, South River, then Carteret, Iceland Kennedy, and South Amboy. They all get ahead of JP Stevens, who the team that they are ahead of is Piscataway. So not only has South River played only 1 game outside of their division, the one that they have played is still in the GMC. There's a foul back, 2-1. Strike called, 2-2. South River plays North Plainfield on the road on Friday, then on the road at Saturday at Princeton, and then home again to North Plainfield on the 28th. 2-2 is a swing and a miss, and have a day, Prajapati. Win or lose, the kid is amazing. 12 strikeouts in 6 innings of work, and it's the 5th start this year that he's gone the distance. Now South River is going to try to shut it down with Julius Rosado on the hill, 4-0 after 6. I don't remember the last time we've had a game with no pitching changes, but we're 3 outs away from seeing that tonight. Julius Rosado has pitched 6 innings. You know who else pitched 6 innings? Prajapati for J.P. Stevens. He struck out 12. And honestly, I mean, I am just so incredibly impressed with what he's done for J.P. Stevens today. The bases were loaded in the bottom of the third. They had scored 2 runs, and there was a 3-2 count. Looked like a bases-loaded walk would send the game out of control, and we'd have a, 10-0 mercy rule. But guess what? He struck out 2 in a row to end the inning, and he hasn't allowed a base runner since. He struck out 7 in a row, struck out 2 of 3 in the 5th, and then 2 of 3 again in the 6th. And now Julius Rosado, the Rutgers commit, who started off the fireworks with a home run to left that cleared the advertisements and left, made it 1-0, and a ground ball out to second base. It's booted. That could be his second error of the day. He is safe at first base. Barely got in there in time as Rao gets on for the second time on a precarious bunch. That will be scored an error.
Now batting number 8, Nolan Overmeyer.
And here's Overmeyer. Inside. 1-0. Maybe a lucky break there for the Hawks. Hawks would again fall to 3-9 with a loss as everyone's fouled back. That'll stay in the ballpark, and it will land very neatly in the luxury suite. Overmeyer 0 for 2. Fly out to right and a strikeout. As the 1-1, no throw over to first. Rosado to his name, just 1 hit allowed, and that was in the 4th inning. And even then, that was a tough play. 7 and 8 total strikeouts today, 2-1. But this feels very deja vu-ish to the first game of the day with Haddon Township and Gloucester. Haddon Township was up 5-0, going to the bottom of the 6th. They scored 2, Gloucester that is, scored 2 more. This one fouled back. Gloucester in that game left the bases loaded in a 5-4 loss to Haddon Township. What a thrilling game that was. This game chugging right along with the 2-2 from Rosado. Oh, strike 3 on the outside corner. First out, and it's the 9th K for Rosado tonight.
Arab Patel.
So here is Arab Patel. A good platoon matchup here in the top of the 7th. Double play would end the ball game. Here's the pitch outside. Again, J.P. Stevens broke a 7-game losing streak in their win over South River yesterday. And I beg your pardon, it's 2 days ago, the 21st. That is going to be caught on a shoestring catch to the right. Wait, no. Lepore's coming out. And cheers quickly turn to boos. The runner's now going to third. Lepore's coming out. He's trying to stop the play from happening. It looked like he maybe caught the ball right near his shoes, and Lepore not happy at all with the call. They're trying to say, the second base umpire is saying that the ball bounced up, and therefore any doubt about the first hit of the game has been erased. Lepore not happy at all. They're telling him to go back to the dugout or risk getting thrown out. That is a tough call. Lepore obviously not happy with it. It's the second hit of the game for J.P. Stevens. And JPS very wisely took advantage of South River's arguments and moved the runner to third. Here is Arash Patel. So JP Stevens' dugout now finding a way to get excited. Strike called to Arash Patel. Man, I don't know. That is so difficult to tell, but Rao moved to third. Again, just because we're behind the plate here and we're behind the net. Strike called again, 0-2. You can hear all the cheers from South River. That might be a little bit compensatory for what they believed was a bad call in right field. No balls, 2 strikes. Rosado with 9 strikeouts on the day. Now dealing with runners on the corners. Time called at the plate by Patel. So cheers quickly turned to boos, and that one's fouled back, but maybe that was the spark that Stevens needed, even if coincidental, to get them back into it. If you're just joining us, 4-0. No bullpen changes in this game. Prajapati has struck out 12 in 6 innings for JPS, and South River's Rosado with 9. Time called again at the plate. On deck is Jaden Kasim, who's reached base twice today. Another one laced foul, look out. That one cleared the net down the third base line. I mean, Coach Lepore pretty lucky he didn't get thrown out there just off of body language alone. I don't think he was asking the second base umpire about his dinner plans for the weekend. No balls, 2 strikes. To the lefty, Arash Patel. Double play would end it. They are going to say he fouled it off. Barely made contact with it. Might have gotten it off the end of the bat. But JP Stevens with the call standing. There's no replay review in Jersey High School baseball. Not for a play at least. Not for something on the field. The 0-2. Got him! Runner goes down to second. But that's the 10th for Rosado. It's 2 down for Jaden Kasim. And now JP Stevens down to their last out here at Trenton Thunder Ballpark. Two outs, 2 runners on at the corners. Rao and Arab Patel. Strike called on the outside corner. Like I said, this has been one of those games where both coaches have been upset with the officiating, for better or for worse. With Jackow and Lepore both expressing their grievances. That is up and in, 1-1. I don't see anybody warming up for South River, but to be fair, that bullpen is obstructed from our view. We only saw the JP Stevens pitcher come down when he went back to the dugout. Rosado, couple of glances back at second, 1-1. Ground ball out to short. This could do it. It's bobbled. Goes right through the 5-hole into left center field. It's going to roll all the way back. He gets past the left fielder as well. Parking it at second base. It's a 2-run error-filled play. And JP Stevens at the 11th hour and possibly the 59th minute has taken the board 4-2. And now coming out is Coach Lepore, who I'm sure is still not thrilled about the last play. And now a quick meeting here with the infield. That is going to be the 3rd error on South River today. It's going to be an E6, a 2-base error that scores Rao and scores Arab Patel. They will keep Rosado in the game, just like Coach Jackow had confidence in his right-hander. The same is reciprocal for Rosado. He's had 10 strikeouts, looking for the complete game and looking for the win. He had a home run in the bottom of the 1st, and now just like that, Dev Desai is the batter as the tying run. First pitch, laced, right field. It drops for a hit. Runner gets the green light. The throw will be cut off in the infield. Coming home to score. This is a one-run game. Chaos in Trenton as a two-run error is followed up and succeeded by an RBI single by Dev Desai. And now the pitcher, who has been holding down the fort for as long as we can remember, Soham Prajapati. 6 innings, 12 strikeouts. Has not allowed a base runner on the hill since the 3rd. And now looks to extend the ball game for J.P. Stevens. Outside. I don't know what I was saying there. Kasim was the one who came in to score on that play for J.P. Stevens. Here's the 1-0. Down and in, 2-0. You have to imagine, maybe not for the players on the field, but in the fans' mind, that play in right that may have been a catch and was not called. Strike called. Just caught the bottom of the zone, and it's 2-1. You just have to imagine if J.P. Stevens ties this game, that thought will be in their mind. It will be in Coach Lepore's mind. As now a throw over to first, not in time. Thought that one could have ended the game there. As this series between the two never seems to disappoint. A close game at J.P. Stevens yesterday. 3-2 the final in favor of the Hawks. And now a one-run game in favor of the Rams. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The crowd that has traveled from Middlesex County down to the edge of the Delaware River to partake in this game have seen quite a good one as Rosado looks to finish the job. 2-2, runner goes, ground ball out to short. It's picked up, the throw to first is in time, and South River in a chaotic 7th inning hangs on with a 4-3 final here in Trenton. A game that had been littered with miscues up until the very end ends on a routine grounder. J.P. Stevens scoring 3 runs in the top half of the 7th to put themselves on the edge, but unable to get that final hit as the starting pitcher is the one who ends the game on a 6-3 ground out. J.P. Stevens bats 7 in the 7th. They score 3, but after a couple of lull innings in the middle half, how about that? Whew, what a game. South River wins this one 4-3. They improve to 7-3 on the young season. J.P. Stevens, in their 12th game of the year, falls to 3-9. I want to give a big thanks to the South River and JPS parents for joining us tonight. This is our first time covering your schools and really the Greater Middlesex Conference in general, outside of maybe Spotswood. If I look at their standings right now, I'll be able to tell you I think Spotswood is the only other school in the GMC that we have covered at any point. So I love the fact that we're getting into new, kind of uncharted waters here on DWB with this Trenton Thunder series. Again, our second game, or our last game of the season at Trenton Thunder will be Sunday, April 27th, between Sayreville and Matawan. But this was a beautiful night for baseball. Came out swinging early with a Julius Rosado long ball to left, traveled over 380 feet, cleared the advertisements and left. His 28th career home run for the high school, for the Rutgers commit. Added on another in the bottom of the second on an RBI single. 2 more runs came across, but you know what? Kudos to Prajapati. 12 strikeouts, 6 innings, and after striking out the bases loaded in the 3rd, didn't allow a single base runner. 4th, 5th, or 6th, and he struck out 7 in a row. The kid just got insane levels of confidence, and he's one of those people that, to quote Teddy Roosevelt, speaks softly and carries a big stick. And with that, he carries a big fastball as well. So, final score from tonight, 4-3. J.P. Stevens got 3 runs across in the top half of the 7th, and that's all she wrote here in Trenton. Man, going to take a little while to come down from this one. A wonderful game on a wonderful day here in Mercer County. From our entire crew here on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting, our social media coordinator, Haley Mejia, our graphics crew, Gavin Van Rel, Caleb Lane, and Carson Rosso, my producer, Vincent Vogt. I'm Dan Wilkins. We will see you tomorrow at 4 o'clock for Olympic Conference action between the Seneca Golden Eagles and the Paul Sixth Eagles for broadcast number 499. Have a good one, folks. 4-3 South River over J.P. Stevens.